Okay, in this video, we're going to solve this problem right here using two different strategies, and so let's begin. So the first way we're going to solve this problem is the more traditional route, so 234 divided by 16. And so we think, how many times does 16 go into 2? It doesn't. But how many times does 16 go into 23? Only once. 16 times 1 is 16, so we subtract. 23 minus 16 gives us 7, bring down the 4. And then we think, how many times does 16 go into 74? It's going to be 4. And we know that because 16 times 4 is 64. And so we subtract. 74 minus 64 gives you 10. Now there's no more numbers, so put a dot and add a 0. And next we think, how many times does 16 go into 100? It's going to be 6 because 16 times 6 is 96. And so when you subtract it, 100 minus 96, you get 4. And so we add a 0. And so we think, how many times does 16 go into 40? It's going to be 2 because 16 times 2 is 32. And if you subtract it, you get 8. Add a 0. And finally, how many times does 16 go into 80? It's going to be 5 because 16 times 5 is 80. So we get 80 minus 80, which is 0. And so we have no more remainders. So our final answer is 14.625. And now we'll solve this problem another way using fractions. So we have 234 divided by 16. And this is equal to, now easily I could pick 160 divided by 16. Obviously these two are not equivalent. But if I go ahead and I add, let's think, 60 plus 40 is 200. 40 plus 34 will give you 234. Now, to make our lives easier, we can change this. We can say plus 64 divided by 16, because that's a nice whole number, plus 10 divided by 16. So 160 divided by 16 is going to give us 10. 64 divided by 16 is going to give us 4, because 16 times 4 is 64. And then this we can simplify. We could divide by 2, and we could get 5 divided by 8. Now, you might know 5 divided by 8 is 0.625, but if you don't, that's fine. And now we can do 5 divided by 8. So we have 5, we have our 8. How many times does 8 go into 5? It doesn't, so put a 0, dot. We change 5 into 50. How many times does 8 go into 50? We can do 6, because 8 times 6 is 48, and if we subtract 50 minus 48, we get 2. So now add a 0. How many times does 8 go into 20? Well, 2 times, because 8 times 2 is 16. So we subtract and we get 4. Add another 0. How many times does 8 go into 40? 5. So we get 0.625. So we can add 0.625. And so if we combine all three numbers, we're going to get 14.625 as our final answer. And that's all we need to do for this problem.